Reaction show here live on the Football Terrace. We are, of course, sponsored by Topps Kick 23, the official digital collectible app for the UEFA Champions League. Firstly, scan the QR code on the screen or click in the link in the description below to get the app downloaded. And I have to say, it is the best fantasy football game I've ever played. Not only can users trade their cards with others, you can also craft, create, and upgrade the existing cards that you already own. The rarer the cards, the more points you win during Champions League games. Now, I want to see if I can set you all a challenge. I smash KJ on this every single week. The question is, are you up to the challenge and can you beat me? If you think you can, get the app downloaded right now by scanning on that QR code or clicking on the link in the description. As I say, best fantasy football game on the planet. And we're live with Topps Kick 23 between now and the Champions League final. Enjoy the rest of the video and we'll speak to you soon. Wow. What a night in the Champions League football. Hit the like button now. Subscribe to the Football Terrace now. We saw a clinic. And tonight, we're going to be having therapy sessions. That is going to have to take part. Before you go any further, though, scan that QR code on the screen and download our sponsors at Top Kicks, the best digital collector, the best digital collectibles on planet Earth. The game's expanding every week. I smashed it tonight. Over 650 points, baby. I'm buzzing with what I did tonight because I had 6 Benzemas in my team and 3 of them level 6 tier 6 cards, mate. So we absolutely smashed it tonight over there on Topps Kicks. More on them a little bit later. We'll be bringing some Liverpool fans out for you soon, but I need to get your instant reaction to this. First of all, I'm going to take a little bit of credit because Terry's Judd strikes again. Liverpool went 2-0 up and I tweeted Liverpool are through. Some of you got it, some of you didn't, but I didn't think it was going to work. I honestly thought after the first 10 minutes, this is Liverpool's game. How can Liverpool bottle this? How can it fall away? Real Madrid were stunned. They were poor. They almost had no answers to what Liverpool were doing. Yeah, the second goal was fortuitous, but it all came from pressure. And they could have scored again and again and again. And then Vinny Jr. gets a very good goal back. Very, very good goal back from him. The way he cuts in on that right foot, bang, bottom corner. Very Rashford-esque, showing that he's one of the best players in the world, as we already knew. And then, of course, Real Madrid got a little bit of luck. Vinny Jr.'s second goal, terrible goalkeeping from Alisson. And you don't say that very often, but terrible from him. Very, very poor goalkeeping. And a lot of that comes from Bajcetic, who tonight it is trending. They are calling him the White Sambi Lokonga. It was just a game too far for this young man, and I think he's going to get cooked by rivals tonight. Liverpool have got to protect him. Been saying it for weeks. Very good, but not ready for this level of football. That's being a DM or being like a holding midfield player is a rarefied position that takes a long time to become good at. You've got to learn to read the game. It's possible to be his age and be top class at it. But he gave the ball away. It led to the goal. And in the second half, Joe Gomez giving away a stupid foul in the opening 30 seconds. Militao, a.k.a. Cecil G, putting that ball away from a brilliant cross from Luka Modric. And then Benzema came alive. First goal, a little fortuitous with the deflection. The third goal, the way he sat down the entire defense, the best goalkeeper in the world was out of this world. Real Madrid tonight put on a clinic. Real Madrid tonight, in my opinion, have inflicted one of the most embarrassing results in Liverpool's history. Now, you can argue it's Real Madrid, the most decorated European club, and Liverpool have been beaten at home by some poor teams like Burnley. But to lead 2-0 under the lights at Anfield and to capitulate in that way, I need to speak to. I need some Liverpool fans with a wide berth of history, a wide breadth of history. Has this ever happened in the history of Liverpool Football Club? I can't remember in my lifetime watching them play at home in the Champions League, go 2-0 up, be cruising, and then get beat 5-2. A humbling, soul-destroying night. Now, the game ain't over, but they've got 3 goals for penalties without reply. 4 goals without reply to win the game. Do any of you truly see this Liverpool team going to the Santiago Bernabeu and scoring 4 goals without reply to qualify? I don't. I don't see them scoring 3 goals without reply. I know you shouldn't make these bold statements, so I'm going to say I'm 90% sure Liverpool are out. It's practically impossible from this point. And I tweeted it earlier. I think this is they may not accept it, but this is the kind of defeat where Jurgen Klopp should offer his resignation. It's that bad a defeat. It's that embarrassing, that humbling. I wouldn't say it's inexplicable because Liverpool today reverted to the Liverpool that we saw prior to beating Everton, prior to beating Newcastle United. And this will knock the stuffing out of them as they return to the Premier League now. The confidence will be blown away. This was a schooling. This was embarrassing. They were destroyed. And I don't think I'm overestimating this. I don't think I'm over-egging it. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic. And if Real Madrid had not taken their foot off the gas in the last 15 minutes, it could have been more. And I think they really did. Resting up because they've got a lot going on for themselves in La Liga. They're just saving a bit of energy. It was astoundingly bad. And as I say, Jurgen Klopp, he may not have it accepted by FSG. We know they're staying now, so there's not going to be new owners in the summer. He needs to offer his resignation tonight as a matter of principle, a matter of decorum. They may say, no, Jurgen, we still believe in you, but he should offer it because that tonight was one of the most embarrassing moments in English European football history. I don't remember this happening before to a team with pedigree. Even Leicester and Spurs haven't done this to us. It's a terrible night. It's an absolutely terrible night. And when you consider Real Madrid have not even been that good this year, they haven't even been of a massive, massive level. That speaks volumes, in my humble opinion. Of course, I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. I want your opinions on this. I want to say, I'm going to go to your super chat soon. We've got Rams and Kurdish, Zane, Roms, all to come out and have their say. But I want to also praise some elements here of Real Madrid. I think we have to look at that and talk about that as well. Just bear with me a second because there's a shadow missing from behind the number. I'll sort that in a minute. I'm not going to do it now. Vinny Jr. tonight. What a performance from him. He did lose the possession quite a bit, but he does. But an assist, 1 chance created, 2 goals scored from him. By the way, these are some of the packs that you can get from Tops Kicks. So get that app downloaded right about now, people. The QR code will be on the screen momentarily. Links in the description below. A very, very good night for him. And another performance that I think this kid shined. This kid shined again tonight. On that left-hand side, dangerous, devastating, so hard to compete with. And the fact that he can score goals, the fact that he can create, the fact that he is just a danger, even when his team's out of nowhere, he's brilliant. And that goal he scored to get Real Madrid back into the game, it was from nothing, really. And that's what you need. Even in a good team, you need somebody with stardust that can deliver in that way. And then we have to speak about, for me, I said it last year, one of the most underrated players in the entire history of European football. I think he's the second highest goal scorer in Real Madrid's history, one of the highest goal scorers in Champions League history, Karim Benzema. Tonight, quiet by his standards, but 2 goals, 2 chances created, an assist. The man only lost possession 5 times. The efficiency of Karim Benzema is nothing short of spectacular. It is out of this world. It is spellbindingly good. And I always talk, I've always felt that he's been underrated. I've always felt that he's been somebody that needs a hell of a lot more respect than he gets. And of course, he played second fiddle when he admitted it to himself. And he had no problem with doing it. And that's why he's such a gem. That's why he's such a brilliant footballer. He had no problem with being second fiddle to Cristiano Ronaldo because he knew that Ronaldo at the time was better. But this guy is absolutely something else. He absolutely is. And some way, look, the efficiency of him, as I've already mentioned, stands out massively. But on top of the efficiency, it's just his clinical nature. He gets the opportunity, he gets the chances, and he delivers on such a regular basis. And I don't think it's overstated to say one of the most underrated players. You may all sit there and go, oh, everyone rates him. But whenever, up until like the last couple of years, when the Lewandowski conversations and the Suarez conversations, Ronaldo, Messi's, he was never really involved. And it always struck me as strange. For one reason or another, he was never involved. Great hold-up play, great interchange, great technique, brilliant goal scorer, wonderfully creative as well. And it was just another barnstorming, sensational night from Karim Benzema that lit up the Champions League again. And how old is this man? Legitimately, how old is Karim Benzema? I don't even know. I swear he's old. He's 35. When I say old, he's actually 2 years younger than me. But he's old from a footballing point of view. Legitimately old for a footballer. And he's out there tonight ripping up Anfield at 35 years of age. If he didn't have your respect, he's got to have had it now. The man is a gem. Before the panel comes out here, we're going to take a look at some of your super chats here. KJ is going to keep starring them backstage. I know there's a lot coming through, but we need those likes up, people, right now. And we need more scans. 200 of you have scanned that QR code tonight, which is amazing, but we need more scans of it. Let's get the scans past 400, please. Midfield defense poor. Jan was crucial. FSG, same old, is what Omar says here. Chris Talks Footy says Liverpool fans were chatting the biggest load of crap on socials when they were 2-0 up. Scousers, where are you? Joshua Loveless says wins against relegation, Everton, 10 men Newcastle, and hype train starts. I said the other day there was no evidence Liverpool are back. My point proven is what Joshua says. We all know you can't beat KJ. I beat KJ many times. Don't you worry about that. KJ is good, though. He's very good at gaming. Madrid only needed a goal. What I said. Hala Madrid is what Dyke's saying here. Vinicius Jr. Are better than Rashford. No debate. It's fine. Listen, do you know what? I will agree with that because he's done it in Champions League finals. He's done it and he's won league titles. So he's got huge trophies along with his goals. So, yeah, I'm not going to debate you on that because that would go against my principles of the game and I'm not a hypocrite. Roughly thoroughly impressed by Napoli and Real Madrid tonight. I mean, I haven't even got on to Napoli. That'll come later. 2-0 win. Usherman getting another goal. Simeone as well, I believe. I didn't watch that game as closely because I was so fixated in watching the baptism of fire at Anfield. I'm sorry to say. Ancelotti is a Champions League juggernaut. Listen, if he was to go on and win it again this year, GOAT conversations may start happening. I think he's already the Champions League GOAT, but I think people will be pushing other conversations as well. Benzema is the best striker of this generation. Ridiculous baller. Mudryk dominating the midfield at 37. Did you see him sprint for the midfield at 37 in like the 70th minute? You see him sprint. Man was galloping like a gazelle running away from a lion. Madness. And then Liverpool have got Fabinho at 28 that's dead. It's honestly crazy. Listen, I actually agree with you. I would rate Benzema in the last decade above Kane, above Lewandowski, and above Luis Suarez. I really would. I think he's that good. The Modric show. I don't know why Mudrik's in my head. Sorry, my friend. Show. Back to reality. We told Tom these 2 wins before were for Fugazi. High line against Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo. We all knew they would cook with all that space. Ginger Fury says, surely Bellingham is not going Liverpool. I'm sorry to say this, Liverpool fans. Bellingham will not be choosing you. It won't be happening. It won't be. We need a complete rebuild in the defense and midfield. Our attack did their job. 2 goals is not bad. Bajcetic is our best player at the moment. FSG better spend. Yeah, but do you think they're going to spend? They're not selling. They're not getting investment. That's what I'd be panicking about now as a Liverpool fan. Your hope was billionaires coming. Do you know what I mean? Oil me up money. There might not even be enough money for lard, let alone oil, bruv. Lard. Terry, to answer your question, Real Madrid are the first ever team to score 5 goals at Anfield in a European match. Yeah, that's resignation settings. You've got to hand it in. They may say no to it and reject it, but Jurgen Klopp has to offer his resignation tonight. Not just for tonight, but for the season. It has happened before. Arsenal versus Bayern. Yeah, but Arsenal don't have Liverpool's European pedigree. Arsenal that got beaten up by Bayern weren't 2 wins away from completing a quad 9 months ago. That is not the same comparison. And Liverpool fans, you you're saying you're the same European pedigree as Arsenal? No, no one believes that. Vinny is what people think Salah is this season, is what Mike S says. Listen, leave Salah alone. Salah's Liverpool's greatest player in the Premier League era. He's done his job. We beat Madrid with Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Alonso wingbacks, by the way, is what Dyke said there. And it's true. You went out, but you beat them. Not everyone can beat Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, is what Baba says here. Jerome says, let's not go overboard, Terry. Even Arsenal, with all their pedigree, lost 5-2 and 5-2 to Bayern. Yeah, listen, they do, but Arsenal don't have Liverpool's Champions League pedigree. They don't have it. This Liverpool team were Champions League finalists last year. That Arsenal team that got battered. What year did that happen? When did Arsenal get battered by Bayern? Let me just Google. I'm just going to Google it now. I don't know. What was it? 2015? 2017? That was 13, 14 years after Arsenal last won a league title. You're talking 11 years after they last got to a Champions League final. I don't mean this rudely about Arsenal. They can't compare themselves to Liverpool on a European front. Grizz Khan, football is a humbler. Yeah. Hi, Grizz. Unlucky. I've been telling the Liverpool fans that Joe Gomez isn't it. That guy is awful. Second half were really embarrassing for Liverpool. No way back. Di Lorenzo scored for Napoli, not Simeone, by the way. I'm going to blame Jess. I asked Jess who got the second goal, and she said Simeone because she had it on her laptop, and I weren't looking over. You wait till I'm done. I'm not going to do anything. There's nothing I can do. I won't get dinner tomorrow if I do anything. Today, Madrid scored more goals in England than Chelsea has scored in the entire year. I'm not Klopp out, but this game is on him. We were 2 up. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. You were 2 up. There is absolute. For me, there's just no excuse tonight. It was a terrible performance. It was indicative of what we have seen for the majority of the season. Does that, if that makes sense? We have seen this week in, week out, and there was those 2 games, and there were those 2 moments where you thought, okay, well, there's been some improvement. They've moved forward. They've become a better team in the last couple of games. Can they grow from that? Can that be a base? And they conceded a few chances to 10 men, Newcastle. And we saw that again tonight. And I'm telling you this now in a couple of weeks' time. If they play like this against Man United and we're still in this form that we're in, we may not beat them by 5 goals, but Rashford, Casemiro, Bruno, they'll cut through them as well. And that could be it. If Man United come to Anfield in a couple of weeks' time and do this, and by the way, and inject themselves into a title race, I would say 80% of Liverpool fans will be turning on Jurgen Klopp. Enough will be enough if that happens. They won't be able to handle it. They just won't be able to handle it. There's just no way that will be able to happen. Klopp smoking, smoking, was those Milner Matip subs at 5-2? Yeah, those subs, again, I don't understand those subs. I'll never understand those subs, but he's left with what he's left with, and he made it happen. The formation that was Liverpool in the last few years is not the same anymore. We needed investment. Conference League, here we come. I agree with you, Zotto. You needed it. And FSG should have spent more. But your manager has also made this happen. Your manager has put too much faith for too long in certain players, hasn't rejuvenated his squad, hasn't tried to reinvent himself, hasn't worked. Against Everton, dropped the line a little bit deeper, played really well, caught him on the counter. And straight away, the arrogance comes back in. Puts his line high again and gets exposed. Jurgen Klopp is as big a problem here as FSG. And you're not going to spend big money because FSG ain't got it. So what are you going to do? You need a new manager. You need a manager that's now going to be able to get the best out of what Liverpool are willing to spend and compete with Arsenal that are almost back to their best, City that ain't going anywhere, whether people want to think it or not, and Man United that are beginning to cook and will have new owners investing even more money. If FSG stays, I don't see how Klopp does, unless FSG are going to change their stance and spend £300 million this summer, because that's what you need, because you ain't getting players cheap anymore. Everyone knows about Moneyball. When you knock on a door for a £50 million player, they're going to go, yeah, 80 mil then, please, bruv. And the price has shot up. Chelsea are doing that. Man United are going to do that this summer. All prices of all players are going up. You're going to Liverpool and the FSG really going to spend £100 million on Bellingham? They're not going to do it. They're not going to. And all these other clubs are offering these players 250 grand a week. Are Liverpool going to do that? No. If they do, I'll come back and apologize. But Liverpool fans for years have celebrated that they don't do that. And that's why they're a more special club. So what's it going to be? You're going to yield against your morality or admit that you're done? One of the two, people. It's time for straight facts here. This ain't communist Merseyside. Anfield this, Anfield that. All that talk to get their cheeks slapped by a I can't read that word. I can't read it. Convalescent. I got it. Look at that. Dyslexia kicked in. Convalescent. Is that right, people backstage? Am I reading that right? One of you must have a brain. Rams there. You went to university and did some things. Real Madrid after leading 2-0. Yeah, it's a poor night for them, innit? I don't even want to be horrible, but it is poor. Can't wait for Napoli versus Real Madrid. I mean, Napoli look dangerous, to be honest with you. Gakpo is genuinely the Dutch Robert Earnshaw. Yeah, there was some play around the edge of the box. I think Liverpool were 2-0 up. And, like, his first touches are pass, you know. He was really poor again. A few weeks ago, the Samaritans opened crisis lines. Tonight, the UN signed off on humanitarian aid to Anfield, is what Cedric has got to say to us all here. Thierry agenda to get Klopp to resign is too strong. He just never gives up. It's not about an agenda. I think FSG will reject it, but you have to offer it in those points of view. This is what Grizz deserves for being too arrogant, is what Priest of Banter says. And do you think Madrid could cook Arsenal? They could cook Arsenal if Arsenal had a bad game, but Arsenal would definitely perform better against them than Liverpool did tonight. Honestly, tonight, if Liverpool were playing City, United, Arsenal, Barca, any top team, but Bayern Munich, Napoli, they'd have got spanked by everybody tonight. Klopp, after the Champions League final, lost. Book our hotels for the final. Did he say that? Sack by the morning for Klopp and bench by the morning for Alisson is what Debbie has got to say here. 0 from 3 wins in Champions League from Premier League teams. Joke of a league is what KC says. Yeah, you may. Is that true? Yeah, Spurs, they're not very good. Chelsea, yeah, that's pretty true right now. But still the best league in the world. Still have more people watching it than your league. doesn't make me feel bad. It's still a better league. It just is what it is. Do you know what I mean? If I'll make you a deal. I'll give £1,000 to charity if La Liga viewing figures this weekend get within 3 million of the Premier League total views. I'll give £1,000 to charity. However, if they're not within 3 million, KC, you delete all your social media profiles and go back to your mum's basement. One of the two. Another stat, Benzema has 19 goals in his last 19 Champions League knockout matches, 12 in the last 7. Utter madness. Yeah, those are crazy numbers. They'd be crazy. Speaking of crazy, I'm bringing the panel out now. Young Tom hasn't turned up, and Hussam, of course, after 2 wins on the bounce turning up, has decided to not show his Rolf Harris-looking face. He is not here to talk to us. There's lots of people. There's 8 people. So I can't bring all 8 out. There's not enough room on my screen. So I'm going to leave a couple back. Yeah, we will. We're going to bring 8 out. We're going to bring 8 out tonight. That's what we're going to do. Actually, if we hit 750 likes in the next few seconds, then we'll bring all 8 out. And we've got Neeks and KJ joining us for a little bit of rivals. Little bit of rivals. And then we've got Kurdish, we've got Ram, we've got Roms. Rom and Ram. That could be a double act, couldn't it? And we've got Man Like Zane. Cup Teen Zane. Let's get those likes up, people, right now. And Liverpool fans that want to express yourselves, keep speaking to us. This is one of the only platforms on YouTube that will allow Liverpool fans to speak the truth without calling you plastics, without calling you this, calling you that. Come on and have your say. And is Terry loving it? I am. Remember, I was a secret Liverpool fan last year when I thought they were going to beat City. But it is what it is. Look at that. We're nearly on 1,000 likes. Love it. Let's bring the panel out now, people. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome, one and all to the show this evening. I'll move people out if people are behind the QR code. I'll move them when we talk. I want to speak to Kurdish first of all, brother. Talk to me. Like, look at FSG out on your shirt. A battering tonight. What you saying, bro? Oh, I can't hear you, bro. Yeah, come back out and come back in. I want to speak to Ram then, please. What you saying, Ram?
Oh, that performance was a lot of things. First 15 minutes was great. Then after that, it was complete and utter capitulation, and that is on the players and that is on the manager as well. The manager has to take a lot for this. This defeat is mainly on him. Why the hell is this dumb high line so high up the pitch when we're 2-0 up? Why the hell is Trent Alexander-Arnold playing right midfield when in the last couple of games, when he's been playing right back, has been faced at right back, he has defended well? I don't understand it, and frankly, I have no words. I cannot excuse any of that. 2-0 up at Anfield. I don't care if you're Real Madrid, AC Milan, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. We don't get battered 5-2 at your own gaff. We're not Arsenal. We're flipping Liverpool Football Club. This is meant to be our competition. This is our competition. This is the competition where England is repped by us 6 times, and we get battered by that. It's an absolute disgrace. It's a disgrace of a performance. Everything's a disgrace. Joe Gomez is defending. Absolute disgrace. Alisson's mistake, a disgrace. That's my guy. But I'm sorry. You're the best in the world. I rep you day and night. But that is a despicable mistake, what you just did there. Fabinho. We thought for a mere moment he had legs. The next thing you know, he turned back to 60-year-old grandfather, bro. You know what I mean? Like I said, like it is going to be a tough pill for Liverpool fans to take. And should we even bother watching the second leg? Should we even bother? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think we should bother watching it. Like, well, we can't. There is no Anfield.
Ram, just say the Football Terrace will be live after the second leg, sponsored by Tops Kicks, no doubt about that. Kurdish, what are you saying, bro? You've been someone that's been on here before any other Liverpool fan talking about the problems at your football club. Was tonight almost sort of the epitome of the issues there right now?
There was two situations that summed up everything wrong with this club. Number one, an 18-year-old starting against Modric, Valverde, and Camavinga, and expecting him to play and run that midfield. And number two, bringing on James Milner when you're 5-2 down in 2023. That right there tells you everything you need to know about this club, Terry. Terry, I wore this T-shirt to the Merseyside derby on Monday. I was there. I was sat behind Jurgen Klopp. Within 10 minutes, the security guard and the steward came up to me and said, for your own safety, you need to either hide it and cover it, or we have to escort you out, because I was hurled abuse for 15 minutes. Every name under the sun, they were calling me. Communist Merseyside were quick to quickly come on my neck. And the fact of the matter is, the root cause of this problem will always remain with these owners. Terry. And you know, I'm going to say this, Terry, because you guys have had it. I've seen you on the timeline, Man United fans, about the values of our club are socialist. We don't want Qatari owners. We don't want Middle Eastern owners. If the values of your club are so socialist, why are you defending venture capitalist owners? Venture capitalists, which everything socialism is against. Everything that socialism is against is venture capitalism. So why are you defending the Glazers? Why are you defending FSG, who are the biggest venture capitalists in society, if you want to protect the values of your club? You do not have issues about protecting the values of your club. Say what it is. It's xenophobia. And today, I don't care about the results, Terry. I don't care about the football. Today, it's about Redmen TV. It's about Spirit of Shankly. It's about David Lynch. It's about Anfield Rap. It's about all these big channels that will rather protect their commercial and financial interest than put the club first. Liverpool Football Club, I want to make this very clear, has been struggling to keep up with one state-owned club for the last 5 years, whilst having one of the best managers in the world and doing their absolute best. So FSG at their absolute best has struggled to keep up with one state-owned club. They're going to be going up against 3 plus Chelsea, who are going to be spending like a state-owned club, right? That's what's going to be happening. And these fans want to come out and still play the moral high ground. Why are you defending owners that are venture capitalists if you're wanting to protect your socialist values? That's what we need to understand. Because your socialist values went down the bin the minute you accepted Fenway Sports. Because everything that socialism is against is venture capitalists. And that needs to be said right now. And it's the big channels that this has to be held on. They have to be held accountable, because a 7-year-old in January could tell you that this team needed big reinforcements in midfield. A 7-year-old could tell you that. And instead, they came out and said, oh, we don't need to worry. FSG have told us they're going to sell already. You were bamboozled. You were Mike Ashley'd. That's what happened. They played you like a yo-yo. And the fact of the matter is, instead of coming out and saying, do you know what, it's time for FSG to go, do you know what they did? They said, oh, but FSG will spend in the summer. Like we've not heard that FSG will spend every summer for the last 5 years. For the last 5 years, we've been told FSG are going to reinforce and invest big in the squad. For the last 5 years, what makes you believe that is going to happen this summer? Because they didn't sell all of a sudden. 2 months ago, you came on a space and told us, we don't need to worry about it. FSG are going to sell. So not what, Redmen TV? I'll tell you what will happen, Terry. They will release a video tomorrow and they will not say, oh, the problem is that Milner's playing in 2023. They won't say that the problem is that an 18-year-old is carrying the midfield. You know what they'll say? They'll say, oh, Liverpool need to get 4 goals at the Bernabeu. This will be the title of their space, by the way. Liverpool will need to get 4 goals at the Bernabeu. And the fact of the matter is, it seems impossible, but this is Liverpool. We've seen them do this before. Wake up. Wake up. This fan base deserves this. This fan base deserves suffering and humiliation, because communist Merseyside will continue to call people, oh, day trippers. You don't know, you're not a real fan because you don't go to Anfield. And do you know what the worst thing is, Terry? Sorry, I know people want to speak. The worst thing about this is they blame day trippers for oh, you take the tickets and you do this. FSG built them stands that you credit them so much for the day trippers that you're going against. These communist Merseysides, they're confused because all they do and all they say is FSG built a new stand, so we should worship them. And in the same breath, they'll say the problem with this club is day trippers. That new stand was built for day trippers. That new stand was built for the thing that you're complaining against. So why do you continue to defend these venture capitalist owners on the basis of, but they understood our club? And they say, oh, but they saved us like nobody else would buy Liverpool. Can you believe this? They actually say, oh, if FSG didn't come, Liverpool would have been gone into administration and all these things. Like no other owners would have come and bought Liverpool Football Club if FSG didn't. How much longer, Terry? How much longer are these big channels going to continue putting their own interest and commercial interest above the needs of the club? Tell me, somebody, please, how much longer?
You know what, Kurdish, yeah, that, again, I agree with everything you said. That was all cute, but you're still not giving the blame. You're still not sharing the blame with Klopp. You're still not sharing the blame with Klopp, because I'm sorry, back to the game, we're 2-0 up. He's so tactically inept. I'm not even saying to park the bus, but just drop back at least 10 yards. I don't know why we're still trying to go gung-ho against a team that has even more pedigree than us in this competition. And let's be honest, we were wasteful, because even after 2-0, we could have went 3-4 up. We weren't that clinical. And one thing I want to say is, well, I've already said, once Salah signed that contract, there was no guarantee he's going to hit the levels we've seen last 3 or 4 years. I got slated, I got called everything under the sun. How can Nacho come on in a position he's not really that familiar with and pocket him? This is our talisman. This is the guy we gave the big bucks to. He needs to do more. I'm not just scapegoating him, because Joe Gomez, he's another one. We had to have extended his contract to reserve his value. We had to, because if we genuinely thought he was the future of our club, I don't know what we were thinking, because he has been poor for a while now. He contributed to all 4 goals. Cool. The second goal was Alisson's fault, but he did still contribute. He didn't really have to drop the shoulder. He could have cleared it, but he played it back to Alisson. And I can't lie, Ram, I know that's your boy, but he has to do better there. And the thing is, karma comes back around, because I know we were all laughing at quarter 5 minutes before. Then straight away that happens to Alisson. But I get you, Kurdish. That we know FSG is the root cause, but Klopp is to blame as well. I don't know why Klopp gets away with murder. There's so many things he can do in game to put us in better stead, and he doesn't. We should not. I've only ever seen my team concede in the Premier Champions League 4 goals. I think that was Chelsea 4-1 in the Mourinho season, but 5. I've never seen this in my lifetime. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
Do you know what it is?
Question for Jurgen Klopp from here from Abdullah. Do you think it's time for Jurgen Klopp to go?
No.
I've said this since December.
Until probably the end of the season for the overall verdict, but not for me.
What's the quote from The Dark Knight? Stay something, don't to.
So it's
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Exactly. That's what's going to happen to Klopp, Ram. He needs to go while he's still got some credit in the bank, because it could get embarrassing. I feel like he needs to walk, and I've said this.
Do you know what the problem is? The thing is, because FSG are staying, I can't see any other manager that can still survive with these owners. I can't. I really seriously cannot.
Rams, hold that point there, please. Just hold that point there. I'm gonna cook right now. Please, just hold that point there. I'm gonna let you lot finish. Finish.
No, you go now, brother.
Go ahead.
The stove is yours. That is ready.
They're loving this. All three of them, they're loving this.
Right now, I have to smile before you see madness in my face. I'm vexed. Now, I said in the group chat that we were going to lose. I didn't expect anything from this game. To lose like that. We have never held 5 in the Champions League, let alone Anfield. And Real Madrid said, we all know Real Madrid's pedigree. We all know Liverpool's pedigree, but Real Madrid came to Anfield and said, sit down. Sit down, we are bigger than you. 5. Now, Kurdish, I respect everything that you said, and I'm fully behind everything that you said, because the root cause problem is FSG. I've said this from time. I've been saying, I had the inkling for, now some people might have the inklings before 2020. I started to speak about it since that year, but it's because before I wanted to give FSG a chance to actually do the right thing. Since then, it's gone downhill. Now, Klopp does have bits to blame. Yes, 2-0 up. Trent Robertson should not be attacking like they're left and right wings. 100%. Drop back. Keep it. Let Real Madrid come onto us. Let them open up gaps. Cool. I cannot blame Klopp for Betetic losing the ball in midfield. Joe Gomez making a crap pass to Alisson and Alisson doing what he did. I can't blame Klopp for that. I can't blame Klopp for Joe Gomez stripping all over the place. I can't blame Klopp for that. I can't blame our attackers missing clinical. We need to be against Real Madrid. You have to be clinical. Yeah. I can't blame our attack doing missing opportunity. I can't blame Klopp on that. So yes, Klopp has something to blame, but my word, the players, my goodness gracious me, the way we just bent over from Real Madrid, especially the second half, the third goal, Militao was free. Seriously, Militao was free. Nobody ran over him.
Everyone were like Bambi, like a deer in headlights. They all froze.
I'm sorry, I can't say that Klopp will tell you in training.
Question then, guys. Question. I get you don't want to blame Klopp, but tonight wasn't the first night this season it's happened. You've played like this, I would say, in 85% of your games this season. Majority of these players were part of a team that nearly won a quad and were brilliant last year. So how can this not be partly or a big chunk of it on the manager? Because when you're nearly winning everything, Klopp is the glue, the king, the tactician, the leader. When it falls apart, he suddenly can't be.
Hold on.
Relinquish responsibility, right?
Terry. You're misquoting me on what I said, because I actually did say Klopp has a lot to blame. I'm just saying that for certain parts in the game, I can't say that Klopp is telling these players to do that. I can't tell you that Alisson that Alisson mistake, that free kick that Modric had. Like there's certain parts in the game where I said these are on the players. These are on the players. So what? My question, and this especially to Ron's, I know you said you want Klopp out right now. Under these owners, who do you think is going to do a better job?
Oh, why are we always working on the tight restrictions in the past?
This is the problem. That's the perfect question. That's the perfect question.
Because under these owners, in my humble opinion, someone like a Luis Enrique or a Thomas Frank, where they haven't been as successful in the game, but I feel like they'll be able to work under the constraints of FSG. Because you need to understand, they're coming from a background where they're not used to spending at all. So they'll at least be given a bit more money to spend. But I think they'll be doing a better job than what Klopp's doing right now.
You said Luis Enrique ain't gone and done much as
sorry, not Luis Enrique. So I meant Thomas Frank, not Luis Enrique. Thomas Frank.
I was about to say,
yeah, not Luis Enrique.
Can I throw this into the equation? We've seen it before when managers of a mid-table team go to a big club and absolutely flop. We've seen it
Graham
with David
Potter.
Moyes,
Graham Potter.
We're seeing it now with Graham Potter. With the owners that we have and the constraints that they have with our managers and the way they want to spend, is there anyone realistic that is going to take us and continue this successful, and I want to put these in quotation marks, successful period for Liverpool?
And
Yes.
hold on.
Success that communist Merseysiders would say that is success.
Sustain success under these owners. Sustain success.
Yes, there is one man, but you man don't want to hear it because of gegenpress football, heavy metal football. His name is Simeone. You need someone like him right now. But look at your face. Look at your face. This is what I'm saying. You Liverpool fans, you're complaining about you need this. You're complaining about you need Y. But yet when someone gives you a solution, it's no, I don't want that.
It's not a solution, bro. KJ, my bro, just hear me out. Do you know the reason it's not a solution? Because it comes back to expectations, right? So if you've got Jurgen Klopp, who set these expectations where we're supposed to be challenging every season and continuously winning things as well, maybe not, being very close, right? The problem is you bring a Simeone in. Simeone has not been doing that with Atletico Madrid year in, year out. So that's the first part. And the second part is it goes back to it. Tom, you can huff and puff all you like, my friend. The second part of it, it comes back down to expectations. In any business, if the owner of the business has a certain level of expectations, which is actually as long as we get into the Champions League and we can challenge now and again, then that's going to trickle down to the whole business. And that's where the problem is. The expectations of these owners and the way they work, the whole world can tell you this, is to challenge for top four and then now and again be able to challenge for the title. The model is not set up for sustainable success. And this is what people are missing.
I'm going to cut you there, Coach, because you're preaching to three people who already know this because we've been living it for flipping years. You know what I mean? We know this, my brother. Don't worry about that. You don't have to tell me about owners who don't know how to properly invest and be ambitious.
But it doesn't mean that 8th place and 5-2 at home in the Champions League is acceptable. That is no matter. I understand. I agree. The FSG have not set up this club to compete regularly with the competition, i.e., Manchester City. Some of it is their fault. Some of it's not. You can't match Man City spending, but they can definitely do a lot more than they've done. 100%. I can't blame Klopp for not challenging Man City this year, but you can blame Klopp for being in 8th. Granted, you've got a chance of getting top 4, being in 8th and getting thumped 5-2. Basically, you're out of every competition by February, whereas 6 months ago you were going for a quadruple. That you can put on a manager, because no matter what we talk about expectation, no matter what levels he brought you to, there should be a minimum expectation, a minimum standard that him and the players should not drop below. And him and the players have below that all season. You had one little 9-0 against Bournemouth that marked the start of the season, but either side of that, it was absolute garbage. Then you won 2 games in a row just gone. And some people were saying, yeah, we're back. But when you actually look at the games, Newcastle are 10 men and we're the better side. So there was so much cracks that's been shown that are being rushed over because FSG haven't invested to get you into a title race. Yeah, but they've invested enough to get you higher than 8th. They invested high more than enough to get slapped by Napoli to end up second in your group, to then get slapped by Real Madrid, who are behind Barca in La Liga. That's unacceptable.
But Neeks, let me just quickly just say this. Neeks, I 100% agree with what you're saying. But when you're looking at it, I'm talking about 5 years of negligence. When you have 5 years of negligence and you see the cracks appearing, especially that season when we lost practically all our defenders, and I feel like us getting third papered so many cracks, us getting third, and then you make the same mistakes again.
But
What
Samuel,
do you expect?
This is the thing, though. The manager's not putting them under any pressure. The manager's sitting there and acting like it's fine to do what they do. There's no pressure. He sits there, gets no signings in January when he's got no centre backs.
And when you say 5 years, when you say 5 years of neglect, it was only 4 seasons ago that you signed Alisson and Fabinho. 5 seasons ago is when you signed Van Dijk, Mo Salah, Andy Robertson, and those guys. Like you had some good summers.
What I'm saying is 5 years of neglect.
1920 happened, but for me though, this is the problem, right? And this is where I kind of agree with Kurdish a bit. When you had those summers where you didn't invest, nearly every Liverpool fan and these dogs said, "Oh, Klopp likes little squads. Klopp don't like too many players. Money ball. We won't overspend." And we all sit there and said it's fine, but when this team fades away, it might take you 3 or 4 years to get back to another level. That is on FSG. I agree. However, it was only a few weeks ago that I think Jamie Carragher's called him out for this tonight. That Van Dijk said that Jamie Carragher couldn't get into this Liverpool team. And Jamie Carragher just said it absolutely right on CBS. Jamie Carragher could walk into that team tonight. So many players in this Liverpool squad they're old, but they ain't 35 Benzema old. They're not 37 Modric. I keep calling him Modric. Modric old, right? They're not old. They're 28, 29. You should still have 3 or 4 more years left in you. The drop-off in these Liverpool players, I think, is massively down to, and you can maybe use a kinder word than me, but boredom. I think they have had enough of Jurgen Klopp. That isn't to say, I think if Klopp, by the way, took over Real Madrid or Barcelona, PSG, Bayern Munich in the summer, within a year, even if they weren't playing brilliantly now, they'd be firing. I think he's still one of the best managers in the world. I just think he has gone stale. The players are bored. They want something different. This could happen after 7 years. And the reason why it's more likely to happen at Liverpool is you don't rotate your squad as much as Pep does at Man City. And for me, it's a mixture of the two things. I think FFG are a problem if you want to have sustainable success. I couldn't agree more. The players need to be looked at for individual mistakes. Why have they gone backwards? But it's like the whole team, probably barring Alisson, I know he made a bad mistake tonight. The whole team, barring Alisson, has regressed in one season. That's managerial. How do we know that? We saw it in Man United. Look what happened to the Brunos and the Rashfords last year. Look what they're doing now. This is on managers, and that isn't to say Klopp's rubbish. And I know everybody envisages this kind of, 10, 15, 20 years, my manager stays and we win. What Fergie did was beyond abnormal. To stay in one place for that long and keep a team winning, most managers have to leave. And I just think Jurgen Klopp's time is done. Done. I don't think he's finished. I think his time at Liverpool is over for me. I really, really do.
And you know the phrase, just rip the Band-Aid off. People focus on the cut. The cut in this situation is FSG. They've cut Liverpool. They're bleeding. The Band-Aid.
They're the broken arm.
Yeah, they're broken arm. Yeah, but Klopp is the Band-Aid. Yeah, but you know what happens when you leave one Band-Aid on for too long? It gets infected. And when that gets infected, the cut gets worse. And right now, you need to rip off the Band-Aid because you need a new Band-Aid, my brothers. What happened tonight? I'm sorry, I don't normally come on here and cuss rivals, innit? Because I've got my game on Thursday, innit? So let me not speak. But tonight was embarrassing. It's an embarrassment. It was at Anfield. You had 37-year-old Modric doing up the midfield, controlling it with ease. We all know Modric is world class and he can create and find space wherever he wants. Cool. But tonight wasn't him finding space. He was giving it in the half spaces. Benzema just chilling, doing whatever he wants. There was one failed cross from Carvajal that looped all the way across your goal into the corner of the box. And Benzema still got it with no challenge. That's got to stop. The midfield and the defense are not cohesive. The forward line don't know what the hell they're gonna do. And at this point, you don't just need new owners, you don't just need new players, you need a new manager to change it up. You do. I'm sorry, Curtis, you do, because he's drained. It's been 7, 9, 8 years of pure hard work. The guy is not a flipping.
Kurdish, what praise can you give him today? What can you give Jurgen Klopp for today?
I'll tell you what you can praise him on.
What can you praise him for?
I know what you can praise him for. When it went 2-2, he really clapped well for Alisson. He clapped good.
Terry.
I don't care. Lad, what's the point? What is the point? This man. Look, I love Jurgen Klopp. I would want nothing more than for Jurgen Klopp to remain man and still be successful because of everything he's done for his past. But football waits for no one. He got nothing after the first 20 minutes. After the first 20 minutes, boss rode the atmosphere. Nunes, Salah, good pressure. We were sitting there going, "Oh, this could be." Beyond that, the only thing I can't fault him for is being a dickhead, because he's an absolute man at times. I don't get why he made the foul, like out to try and make that block when Alisson's diving there, and then when he got subbed off, he walked straight down the tunnel. But guess what? We've played the injury card. The injury card's got, so he's injured now. He isn't injured because he was not limping, he was not stumbling any time beforehand. But Jurgen Klopp today, when we were 5-2 down, sorry, 4-2, not 5, it weren't 5-2 yet, but 4-2 down, took off Nunes, who was our biggest threat.
He was our best, yeah.
Don't know why he took him off. And then not only that, he brought on James Milner. Why? We are 4-2 down. What is his 2-foot crunch on Luka Modric in the 81st minute going to do to turn the game around?
Who else is he supposed to bring on?
Ox?
Don't take Nunes off. Guess what? Don't take Nunes off. Don't take Nunes off.
Tom, this is the problem.
Are we being serious?
No, just let me land here. This is the problem. We think that football is just as easy, don't take it on. We don't actually think that there's medical teams who are planning 4 weeks ahead and that they live by certain parts where if you play.
Oh my God, kids, this is the biggest game of our season. And actually, you know what, kids? I don't actually give a shit about Crystal Palace at the weekend. I don't know.
It doesn't matter what
Oh my God, lad,
you know that.
This is the biggest game of our season. This is rare. I don't care about the red zone.
As a club,
the biggest game
live
of our
by
season.
the red zone. You know that.
Oh my good God, this is the biggest game of our season. This is it. We have no chance in the league. We have no chance in any of the cups because we're knocked out. But yeah, let's get ourselves knocked out of the cup. Let's not give ourselves a fighting chance in the Champions League because of the red zone. Because we need to toss. Oh my good God! I would rather give ourselves more of a chance of coming back from 4-2 down.
Yeah, if you're 4-2 down, you make it 4-3. You've only got to win 2-0. Now you've got to win 4-0. Like that's a great thing about these games. You could be out of it, but a couple of goals
sitting there
changes.
Saying, save yourselves for Crystal Palace, save yourselves for Bournemouth. I don't care.
Tom, it wasn't really even the personnel of the midfield that was mainly my problem. It was when we were 2-0 up. Not even just part of us, just drop the line back at least 10 yards. It will make a world of a difference. But the fact we tried to still go gung-ho against Benz and Vinny that could just fly in behind, it made no sense to me. And he's done it repeatedly this season.
Guys, I'm going to go to a few super chats here. I just want to jump into these. This is for Josh. Zane ducked out. I don't know what I think Zane didn't want the smoke tonight. By the way, I did want Hussam on because I had a clip. I'm going to save it to Fan Channel Review tomorrow because he said after the game against Newcastle, we'll slap Real Madrid. And if we do, I'm booking my ticket for Istanbul. That's literally what he said on the show. So I do blame Hussam for this. But he says here, Zane, I told you after the Newcastle game there was no evidence Liverpool were back, and you said I have no ball knowledge. No, Zane, I had eyes and a brain. Keep Arsenal out of your mouth. Nothing lasts forever, is what Stephen Guna Jacob says. Terry, how is LB broke? Liverpool broke if their rev money match United's. It's not about being broke. So I didn't say they were broke. I think they don't have money to spend. FSG don't loosen the purse strings enough. Liverpool have as much money to spend as any big club. They choose not to. It's up to Liverpool fans if they want to accept that. And if you still buy kits and go to games and still, subscribe to the YouTube channel with Liverpool and stuff, then it's on. Then you are SFG. VVD is done now, is what Ray says. Look, yeah, I mean, this is a crazy thing. When he was out injured, when he's back, we'll be flying. I'm like, you guys are bad with him this year, but yeah, he had another bad night tonight. My man, who is responsible for the players' performances, I've had enough of this. Get real, is what Baz1 says. I'm loving this, but on a real Kurdish speaking sense, Klopp has made mistakes, but he's forced to make some of those. Also, Terry and Kurdish are twins.
I mean, the foreheads are
it's the beard and the hair. Like.
We've both had hair transplants. We've both had hair transplants as well.
Little bit of that. Little bit. We could be brothers. We could be. Most of my brothers are Liverpool fans as well, to be fair. 8-man panel. I wonder what happened, Terry. Yeah, it's not my fault.
That's a casual night in the Champions League.
It's funny. I tweeted in the game like Liverpool through. Obviously, some people don't get why I do that. The Terry Judge, the viewers of the Terrace do. Everyone's trying to cook me. A few people, they would reply. And then they'd be like, I get what you did. But one guy, when I said, Liverpool will get embarrassed, he went, you're such a flip-flop. I said, why? He went, well, you predicted that we'd win. I'm like, I'm not a flip-flop for saying you're getting battered now. It's real. Like, honestly. So, I was like, that's not been a flip-flop. I'm stating a fact. Liverpool fans mocked United for protesting and said they had the best owners in world football because so-called net spend, how the tables have turned. But those, this is where me and Kurdish are on the same wavelength. Those Liverpool fans that protect FSG and never moaned about transfer windows, we all knew from day one they were lying. These were the same guys when they were linked with, remember when they were linked with Timo Werner? I was like, who's he going to come in and replace? No one. We're going to play 12 men. Like, it was just one of the. That's the kind of logic you get from communist Merseysiders. They would sign Jude Bellingham, and you go, "Who's he going to go into the team for?" No one. That was how they used to be.
Terry, that was Ram. Ram fielded 11 man them with Henderson at 10 one time.
Yeah. No, not for Werner. I said, no, don't do that. Don't flip it like that. Don't flip it like that. No.
Ram checked the rule book, and he was like, can you play 2 goalies? I don't know. Let's see.
Like, don't flip it like that.
No. The issue there isn't trying to fit wearing Henderson at 10.
Henderson at 10.
What decisive through pass does he have?
I remember when communist Merseyside were trying to convince the world, and I think Craig from Anfield Agendas left communist Merseyside now. He's very much on the Merseyside brigade, but he once upon a time said Henderson was better than Paul Scholes. Just came from a space where man are blaming silence from the Anfield crowd. The fact people still sleep on Madrid is crazy. Elite is elite. I will say this about the silence. Anfield, when it's rocking, is dangerous. But Anfield, when it isn't going right, is one of the worst stadiums in the country for picking up a team that's on its ass. They, in my opinion, are not very good at doing it. That's just my experience. Like the famous Anfield crowd. When Man United come, that'll be rocking. If Man United go 2-0 up in the first 20 minutes, you will hear a pin drop for the remaining 90 minutes.
We were getting a lead. It was the home leg at the time. We were getting a lead in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That is an embarrassment.
Before that, Tom. Before that, the 60th minute they were doing.
I had a collection of Danny Ceballos, Marco Asensio, and Danny Carvajal having a triangle of Olays against me.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Tom, it's embarrassing because you sung "We Will Never Walk Alone" before the game, and then you started singing it after the game and not during the game when you guys needed the boost. I was like, wait, you've lost 5-2 and you man are singing "You'll Never Walk Alone." What is going on here? Sing that at like 60 minutes.
After the second goal, we lost the 12th.
They're liars though, because they made Kurdish walk alone when he wore his FSG out shirt.
10 minutes of abuse. 10 minutes of abuse, Terry, to the point where the steward came up to me and said, if you don't put on, we're going to have to escort you out for your own safety. 10 minutes of abuse because I had my own view and my own opinion. That's what we're up against.
You know,
this is the problem.
Sorry. Well, the first time I ever called it communist Merseyside was a bit of a joke, but the amount of Liverpool fans over the last 5 years that have gone, you're so right. I was like, I only really half meant it to begin with, and it turned out to be a pretty good guesstimation. Liverpool should forfeit the game at the Bernabeu, avoid further humiliation. Please pity the fans. Yeah, they're not, but natural enthusiasm. If you don't have it, you're nothing without it.
Oh, stop quoting Bill Shankly, man. When you get absolutely panned, it's
But what is it? What is it?
embarrassing.
You only had that in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, but what is
It means try hard. If you run hard,
Oh.
if you run hard, you're right, which isn't the truth. Because guess what? Jordan Henderson ran hard today. He was still shit. He was still crap. He still did nothing on the ball. Fabinho ran hard. He was still crap. Robertson ran hard. He
I'm
was still
so
crap.
sorry. What? No,
Gakpo ran hard.
I'm
He was
sorry.
still crap.
You cannot be getting at run by a 37-year-old Modric. There's no excuse for that. There's absolutely no excuse.
It was the foot. Was it the foot? What one was Benzema second? When Luka Modric turns our midfield and outpaces our entire midfield at 37.
Yeah.
The man should be looking at retirement homes, not outpacing my quadruple midfield.
By the
in
way,
the
though,
70th minute.
what Benzema and Modric are doing, though, is again they're going beyond legends of European football because they've got that longevity gene, and Giggses and Scholes. When you're able to dominate in Champions Leagues and dominate in a major league in your mid to late 30s, again, I'm going to say this, and people are going to say it's controversial. Benzema for me, better than R9 because he's doing it at 35 in the Champions League and at all these levels. I don't care at his peak. At his peak, listen, let me finish.
I'm not going to debate you. Liverpool lost 5-2. We're on the same side. But
listen,
you're treading close, Terry. You're treading close.
No, I'm not treading close. At his peak, R9 was better, but the level that Benzema has been at from the age of 18, 19 to 35, for me, that longevity surpasses the peak. And Modric, as a midfielder, to be doing this at 37 at the highest level of the game, there's only a handful of midfielders, Paul Scholes being one of them, as an example. Xavi and Iniesta went on quite late in their careers, but still doing it at this point, it moves you on. There could be players that you would say at their peak were better, but the longevity always matters more to me. To be able to do it at this age is absolutely astronomical. And look, for me, Benzema, he is like Benzema is one of the best strikers of the last 40 years in European football. There is no shadow.
Have you not seen Jurgen Klopp's quotes from the press conference?
No. What's he said?
He said he got asked about the tie in 3 weeks' time, and he said, "I think Carlo Ancelotti thinks the tie is over, and I think it as well. My manager's already written off the second leg."
At least he's honest.
He's
what do you want him to do?
honestly,
Lie? You want him to lie?
Kiddish. This man has lied fucking every press conference up until this point. The one time I want him to lie, he tells me the truth. What's the point?
Tom, you're going to the Bernabeu and your midfield hopes are relying on an 18-year-old. What do you want him to say?
Kurdish, we rocked up. We had Barca coming to us, and we sat there and said, "Oh, we still got a chance." Now we're writing it off. Look, I'm of the case that we've written it off, but I would rather our manager didn't act like we're Southampton and write off games 3 weeks before they happen.
Tom, can I just ask you, why would you not want to act like Southampton? Your owners behave like Southampton. The exact same model as Southampton. No, the exact same model as Southampton. So why are you, as a fan, do you have higher expectations than Southampton?
This is the situation that we always end up in. We always like to seem to forget that Jurgen Klopp turned down midfield signings in the summer.
Oh, that's not factual. You don't know that.
Okay, all right, hold on.
I don't know that.
There you go.
So all the multiple articles, all the multiple articles. All the multiple articles, all the multiple articles that have told me in the summer that Jurgen Klopp turned down midfield signings are wrong. Okay, that's good to know now.
Until you were in the boardroom.
All right, cool. Hold on.
You don't know that.
Let me just say this. Jurgen Klopp goes. He moves off. Are we going to be all right?
Yes.
We're just going to be all right,
bro. Let me just say one thing. I just want to make this very clear. 6 seasons under Jurgen Klopp. 6 seasons under Jurgen Klopp. These owners achieved top 4 once before Jurgen Klopp. Before Jurgen Klopp, under this model, under these owners, we achieved top 4 once, and that was when we had Luis Suarez at his absolute peak.
All right, so please. Okay, question. Let me ask you a question because I don't even disagree with the fact that a new manager might make a change because sometimes a fresh voice and a new ideas, and you might be able to, Klopp is a bit of a slave to his philosophy, and maybe the players can no longer play. I've gone through that before, but considering how highly you rate Jurgen Klopp, and rightly so, I think the question that Terry, or the statement Terry posed at the beginning, is valid. Jurgen Klopp should handing his resignation. Because a manager of this level, at this greatness, should not be willing and happy to work under an ownership which cannot create long-term success. If we rate him as high as we're saying,
100%.
he's too good for FSG's model. So he should be here past this season.
I mean, look, we always sit there and we back Jurgen Klopp, we defend Jurgen Klopp, up to the hills we'll back the man. But at the end of the day, the man, we back him and say, he hasn't been given the tools by FSG, this, that, and the other. That's fine. You also do have to ask for them at times, but hey ho, I'll push that one off to the side. Just because you didn't get your midfield tools does not excuse the shambolic display I have seen this season in multiple games, in multiple months, and we are now coming to the point of this Liverpool squad, of this Liverpool cycle, where we have to rebuild the squad. And the hardest thing for a manager to do is rebuild a squad that they already built, because they have connections to the squad. They don't want to let certain players go because they remember what they done in 4 years ago when they had a good run in a cup once before. So right now, I'm sitting there looking at it going, do I back Jurgen Klopp? Because I'm not having Jurgen Klopp that came in 2016. I'm not having Jurgen Klopp that won us a league title or a Champions League. I've got the Jurgen Klopp now that smiles at 5-2 down, which I don't want to see. So when I look at it like this, I'm sitting there going, do I back Jurgen Klopp to fully oversee this rebuild and do right by the club 100%? Or is he going to sit there when the chips are down and go, nah, Hendo, you done me good 3 years ago, so you'll stay. You don't want to leave, so we'll stay. Do you want to know the worst statements Jurgen Klopp has said whilst at this club? If a player never asks to leave, I won't sell them. What are we, a charity case? You want to stay and then you stay.
Players leave on their own accord. Yeah, I remember when
what's the point of staying? Like, it's a shambles.
I've got two things to say. Yeah, one, Neeks, Terry. Don't this remind you of 2021 to early 2021, 22 Man United? Glazers out versus Ali out. Who's the real issue? Will things ever change? Who will make us better? It's like going back in time. Two, Terry. I think you beat me on kick 23,
How many points did you get?
I got 4-3-4.
What point score?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 6. My app is freezing right now, but I think I got 622 or something.
Damn, you killed me with those Benzemas, boy.
Yeah, I had so many Benzemas in there tonight. I did.
Can I say there's a news report come out? It was posted by Anything Liverpool. Liverpool expect at least 4 incomings at Anfield this summer. That was
just released that now.
Cool. That was posted straight after they posted the quotes from the
you could have seen that coming from a mile away.
I mean,
Liverpool lose a game. Liverpool lose a game. The PR machine spins. It reminds me of when we had no centre backs. Do you remember what we used to do when we had no centre backs in that 2021 season? Virgil van Dijk used to get flogged like a horse. Get out on that training pitch after we lose a game and run round on the grass, and then we'll get a video from it, and then it's all positive. Do not buy into this positivity.
Do you know what I was going to say? It's why I believe that Chelsea are looking for a replacement for Potter, because as soon as they don't win a game, there's a press release from someone like a Matt Law within minutes. It's almost like they've got it pre-written so they can just get it out there. But what you were saying about Klopp, like if someone doesn't ask to leave, I won't sell them. That's why Jurgen Klopp isn't a manager. Jurgen Klopp is a coach, because that's what you need. A good footballing directors are essentially the other half of what Fergie did for 25 years. Fergie run the club and coach the team. Now, of course, he hired coaches to do like the dog work, as it were, but he was the head coach and he was the manager of the football club. Jurgen Klopp isn't a manager, because a manager would know that you have to recycle players. Even sometimes you let them go at their best. Now, the back end of Fergie, he didn't do this because the Glazers weren't spending money, but he would let players like Paul Ince and Mark Hughes and Koncheskis and Ruud van Nistelrooy, and it's for different reasons. Jaap Stams and Beckhams. Jaap Stams he ended up regretting in the end. Roy Keane. But he would let players go for one reason or another. Some of it was, I've got a great kid coming through, or there's another youngster I want to buy. Sometimes it was, we'll let them go at their peak, but so we can get money for them so we can reinvest it. It's knowing when to let people go and what individuals. That's the difference between being a world-class manager and a world-class coach. And Jurgen Klopp, completing a rebuild, in my opinion, proves that you're a top class manager, because it's hard to do, because you've got to throw sentimentality out the window. You can't be like, oh, you know, Henderson and Milner helped me win a Champions League and a Premier League, therefore I'm going to keep them in my squad even when they're not good enough anymore. You need to be ruthless. You know, I always think about Man United, David Beckham. Beckham was told, you're leaving. He's like, I don't want to. Real Madrid are going to buy you. Because I don't want to leave Man United. I'm a Man United fan my whole life. It's where I grew up. Although he's from London, he was there from like the age of 8, 9 years old. He lived more years in Manchester than London. He's like, I don't want to move, don't want to leave. They told, no, done, gone. That was the end of the conversation. Because that short, left. Beckham went and sat in his Bentley outside and cried for half an hour. But Fergie didn't go, oh, he's crying, is he? All right, we'll keep him. He knew he had to move him on.
Klopp just wants his players so we can have drinks with them afterwards. He wants to sit there in 5 years' time and have a Liverpool 2018 reunion where he gets them all down to a bar and goes, James, do you remember that night against Palace? Hendo, do you remember that day against bloody Southampton?
You know why that's genuine?
We are here. Football waits for no one. Football waits for absolutely no one, and Liverpool Football Club should know that better than anyone else, because we thought it wait for us 3 times in the past. It waits for no one, but we sit there and persist with average, with bang average, with below par, with declining, because guess what? They were good 4 years ago. We have done ourselves dirty, because guess what? When we get to the summer now, we don't need 4 players. We need 7. We need 8. We need 8, and we're not going to buy 8, so we're done for.
Question for Samuel and Kurdish. In the ideal world, let's say we do get new owners. Do you even trust Jurgen Klopp with money?
Absolutely. And do you know what? Maybe Roms. Sorry, Samuel. Do you mind if I? And no, you go ahead, bro, and then I'll come in. You go ahead.
No, I've actually said this on stream. What I wanted before. So when I actually thought we were going to get new owners, what I said is that, okay, Jurgen Klopp, stay. Get the money that you need. Now, as I said this before, Klopp is not bigger than Liverpool. Not at all. We, at a point, we're going to have to move on from Klopp. But what I said was that if we did have new owners, he gets the money. I want to watch what Klopp does with that money. If he's doing the same rubbish that he was doing, right now, it's time for you to go. It's time. So
your standpoint is he warrants more time under new ownership.
Yes. But now with FSG now staying, I won't lie, it's complicated it a little bit for me now. It's complicated it for me. So
yeah.
Sorry, I know Kurdish wants
to go, mate. Karen.
I want to make one more point because I know Kurdish wanted to go. But what I was going to say is that it's complicated it for me a little bit now. Now, if Klopp walks and says, here's my resignation, I don't blame you at all, Klopp. I do not blame you. My worry is that a new manager comes in, and let's just say he stabilizes it. He stabilizes the boat. Cool. We're not doing as bad as we were doing before. Under these owners, can he get to the summit and can he sustain success under these owners?
No.
Kurdish, you can go.
But my only counterpoint to that though, wrong, because I think you'll say the same thing. Can current Jurgen Klopp, with the current setup that we've got, sustain success and get us back to that point?
Yeah.
Can he put aside the sentimentality? Yeah. And can he put aside all the loyalty and be ruthless and tell certain players they've got to go when they don't want to?
It's a great question, and I'm sure in the coming weeks we're going to have more of these conversations on the terrace. I want to say a big thank you, first of all, to Tops Kicks tonight for sponsoring the show. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen now or click on the link in the description. Get it downloaded. They've got amazing new packs available. Europa League games have been added to the equation as well. So I've got my team ready tomorrow for Thursday night for United Barca. Now I hope after laughing a bit tonight we don't get humbled by them at Old Trafford, because there's going to be some egg on the face there. Thank you to Kurdish, Rams, Rom, Samuel, Neeks, KJ, Tom. Zayn came here for like a brief second and disappeared. I appreciate you coming.
I don't want this guy, do I?
I got one of those packs tonight as well, actually. I got one of them bad boys. I literally, you know what's mad? When Liverpool went 2-0 up, once Real Madrid got their first goal, I had a sneaky feeling I got rid of every Liverpool player and just filled it with Madrid players. Got it right. I loved it. That's what's great about their fantasy football game. You can, like, mid-game, you can swap players round. You get like 100 subs, and you never use that many. Like it's really,
Yeah,
really
wait,
good.
it's unlimited now because of this less.
Oh, is it
there's less
unlimited? I
players
didn't
in
even
the
see
game.
that, but yeah, unlimited, you can do it, and it was great. And if you get also something, if a player scores and he's not in your team, if you get him in within a minute, you get the points. So you've always got to be on the app ready to go. It's great. But thank you very much to Top Kicks for sponsoring us again. Tom's off to Germany in his Lederhosen to support Mane, as you can see. Until tomorrow,
I'll be
people.
there in the Champions League quarterfinals after we beat Bayern. Viva la Bayern.
Lovely. Everyone, take care. Goodbye. God bless. Smash the like button before you leave, and we'll see you all again